We are going back to our roots. Wheel it, wheel it. Wheel it. To my roots. Reggae music is all that I need. Reggae music is, yeah, same one. I say I am. I'm going back to my roots, yeah. Reggae music is all that I need. I say I am. Yeah. I say I am. Yeah. Shoot. Shoot. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so we've seen information from the summit. We've seen what the Biden administration did for the invited 50 leaders to the summit. From the reaction of President Biya in the summit, we saw a frail leader, a leader incompetent, a leader that is unable to lead. Okay, we saw that La Republic is in need of a swift transition, and they want to, and they're trying to use their transition to try to fast track the peace solution in Amazonia. We cannot be pushed to go and negotiate when it's not the right path to negotiation. We are talking about two countries, and any form of negotiation must be between two parties, two countries that came together. We don't care if Biya is not able to lead, whether Biya is old, whether he doesn't understand what he's saying. We don't care about that. What we care is about the leadership. What is our number one goal is to make sure we have a very, very robust negotiation, internationally recognized, that is a long-term negotiation that La Republic can be held to account. Because we have seen for the past experiences that La Republic has not been keeping to its promise. And we cannot go into such kind of negotiation when one party does not respect the terms of the negotiation or the agreement. We are talking here of the independence, the separation, the peaceful negotiation process of two countries. And what happened in Fumban, we cannot accept that no more. That's why the president's Chris Arnold came out with a statement about that. And I want you to take a listen of the statement that President Chris Arnold came up with, because it's very important for you to understand the stand of the interim government and the stand of the other groups, the stand of the Restoration Council, the stand of the frontline leaders, so that we know where we are going to. Okay, take a listen.
Fellow Amazonians, today is Sunday, December the 8th, and I come to you with a critical message. We have just learned of a ceasefire agreement reached in Canada between some Ambazonian leaders and the government of La République du Cameroon. Fellow Ambazonians, today is Sunday, December the 18th, and I come to you with a critical message. We have just learned of a ceasefire agreement reached in Canada between some Ambazonian leaders and the government of La République du Cameroon. They have supposedly reached a ceasefire that will lead to cessation of fighting on the ground. I want you to know, Chris Anu, the leader of the interim government, today, Sunday, December the 18th, that your interim government is not party to any ceasefire. We reject any ceasefire. No ceasefire will walk on the ground until La République du Cameroon is ready to sit on the table to discuss the root causes to this conflict. We want every Amazonian restoration fighter to know what has taken place and what happened in Canada happened with a lot of money exchanging hands between the CDN acting on behalf of the Prime Minister office and the leaders who went to Canada. A lot of money changed hands. We are very sure of what we are telling you. I shall be coming back to you on Wednesday on ABS with details of this story. But I just want you to know, fellow Ambazonians, there is no ceasefire. There is no ceasefire. And ground zero, ghost towns intensify. Ghost towns intensify. This is going to be, there is going to be a new order on the ground. Monday ghost towns intensify. La République du Cameroon will not carry out another Fumban in the 22nd century with us. This is the age of the social media, the age of the internet, the age of enlightenment, the age of education, the age of information technology. And a second Fumban, we will not allow it to happen. Please pass this message around to everybody that you can reach. Ghost towns intensify. Restoration fighters get ready for full war in the territory. I come back to you on Wednesday with a full statement, a presentation on this. Look out for ABS. God bless you all. God bless Ambazonia. Long live the Federal Republic. Chris Anu here.
Or that alert. That's President Chris Anu there in that condemnation and the alert about this ceasefire that we heard some frontline leaders are trying to deal with. So what we want to say is that it's very important for us to understand this aspect of ceasefire and the aspect of whatever is a form of negotiation or whatever. Okay, we don't have any ceasefire yet. Okay, we don't have any ceasefire yet. We have not heard of any that will make us to understand that La Republic will stop their fighting. Okay, so what we are saying is that we are not yet in any agreement. Okay, so it's very important so that we know who we are fighting. Okay. La Republic is trying to play a fast one, like going to sign deals behind the scene. When any deal that is signed without the interim government, without the main frontline leaders, it will not go any way. Okay. When they went to Canada, we stood up and said we are not part of any negotiation that does not has the ingredient of an internationally led mediation. We made that clear so that whatever is going on in Canada is not, if it's not part of the interim government and the acceptance of the leaders, they will not go anywhere. So we are saying here that we have to be very careful what leaders go and sign and just say, oh, this is a ceasefire. Okay. We understand anything that has to do with ceasefire has to do with the kind of outcome. What is a ceasefire? Okay. We know a ceasefire is an agreement, right, that regulates the cessation of all military activity for a given length of time. Okay, is La Republic ready to remove all their military to the barracks in La Republic? Are they willing to do that and go to the negotiation table? Those are questions you have to be asking, because when we say a mediator, okay, a mediator is a country and an international body that have accepted to mediate between two parties, between two countries. We are not saying that we don't want negotiation. We want an internationally recognized form of mediation that should be binding, because we have taken a lot of heat from the past about how our parents went and signed Fumban, no documentation, no follow-up, nothing. It was signed, but they had no document to show. And Aijo brought them the La Republic Constitution. Before they realized they were already in a federal system that they have no control over. So we want something that is going to the root cause of the problem for a lasting solution, okay? Because when you have a ceasefire, we have to agree to stop the fighting together, okay? It's usually for a way to end the fighting permanently, but we cannot go into negotiation and go to a ceasefire when we don't trust the mediator. We have to be sure that La Republic means their word, because what we are realizing with La Republic is that they want to take advantage of circumstances, and they have the time taken on their own side, not on our side. We are not in a rush to sign any deal, right? They have the clock taken on their own side. So that is their own responsibility. They want to change their presidency there, they want to do, that is their problem. But they should not use their timeline to put on our own timeline. No, we will take our time. We will take our time, follow a normal negotiation process. Okay? It will follow a normal negotiation process. We will not rush in, we will not be rushed into a process when it's not our own when we are not really ready, or something that we are being pushed to, you know. So we are saying that we want a negotiation process where we will have all form of time to negotiate and do what we want to do with our own process. So we are calling on the international community to understand that we have a process, and we want La Republic to know that we are ready to go to any process on a 50-50 basis. Okay? That is what we are talking about. We will go to any process when it is legally binding. Okay? Process that we are sure that La Republic will keep to it. Okay? We will not be rushed into a process that we are not sure is legally binding, and we are not really sure if La Republic will so we are saying that we want something that will really be legally binding, because that is what makes a negotiation process feasible. Okay? Let me play this and let's see how.
Pourquoi je suis en vedette? Ici. C'est qui tous ces gens qui sont là? Pourquoi je peux demander ça?
That is President Biya. He doesn't even know where he is. He's asking where he is. He doesn't even know why he was brought there. He doesn't even know. He's confused.
On vous a déjà introduit. Le monsieur vous a introduit. Il y avait un monsieur de vous qui vous a introduit.
Je dois parler maintenant.
Vous pouvez rester assis, parler assis. Vous pouvez parler assis, étant assis.
Ici?
Oui.
Pourquoi?
You see, the guy is telling Biya that he can speak while sitting. The Biya is just confused because he doesn't even know why he went to the United States. That is a man they asked to come and represent 20+ million people. This is somebody who is supposed to go to retirement and rest, but there are some people who are pushing him to come and be doing this thing. Look at this great. He doesn't know what he's doing, and where he's seated, he doesn't know his. That guy come again and talk to him.
Il n'y a personne pour conduire les travaux.
Oh man, this is just disgraceful.
Sí, sí.
It's just disgraceful, you know. It makes one think that, oh my God, what is, you see, why are they pushing this? This man is frail, he's old. He needs to go and rest. What kind of life do you live like this, President?
Your Excellencies, Mr. President,
Just terrible, man.
Albia.
It's terrible. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. I mean, when we see this, we have to condemn this, because you take somebody who is old, is frail, cannot even walk. You ask the person to come and be disgracing himself in front of public like this. I don't know how the people back home in La Republic, they think. Are there not people to help this man, to replace this man? This man should go and rest. Eh? What kind of leadership are you? The country is going backward. That, you see. He's not by himself. He's not by himself. It's terrible, man. This is what we are saying. There is a rush in La Republique to go and do a power transition. They want to put Frank Biya in power because the dad is already gone. They are looking for means to do it, to tell the La Republique people that they have discussed with the Southern Cameroon Ambazonian leadership. There is peace, there is this, but they will not rush us. Time is on their side. Time is not on our side. They will not rush us to go to a quick negotiation. Negotiation will take more than 5 years. The thing is backdoor negotiation. Negotiation is a process. The Swiss government was already in almost 3 years in negotiation process. But the La Republic government back away from that. So it's not our fault. Maybe by now we would have been in the 4th year and the process would have been gone faster. Now they went to Canada. So if they are going to Canada, we need the Canadian government to tell us if they are playing the role of, like what the role of the Swiss government was playing. We will not be rushed against our wish. Our people will not rush to another phone ban. That is why we are saying that we need a smooth and normal process of any negotiation process. It's not rush. There's no rush in negotiation. We need to make sure all aspects is ironed out so that it will be a peaceful separation. That's what we want. We're not going to for negotiation to go and negotiate for form of state, form of this. No. Peaceful separation. We want to make this thing very peacefully. We are not going there to be talking left, right. No. It's peaceful separation. Ambazonia remains Ambazonia. Nothing will stop that. We have a country. We will not go and be discussing this and that. No. The public should know that. So whatever they're doing, that is their problem. We have a process for peace. Let us have our identity. Our identity is number one. We're a people. We are not a Northwest, Southwest people. We are not a Northwest, Southwest people. We are the people of Southern Cameroon, like them. Because we came as two countries. You cannot deny that. So whatever they are doing, they should know we are out for a peaceful separation. Peaceful separation. Yes, our guys have sacrificed, our people have sacrificed, they are still sacrificing till today. Our people are not in jail because of any other thing. Our people did not die because of any other thing. Our people are not in refugee camps because of any other thing. That is what we are talking about. So that separation should be peaceful. That is what they call negotiation, peaceful negotiated settlement. The terms are there, the terms, we can negotiate the terms, but not anything like the form of state or form of whatever. No. It's Ambazonia and La Republic. Ambazonia versus La Republic, that's it. I want us to talk about this because President Biya was invited to the United States by President Biden. And we know that all the cabinet members of La Republic government that promoted the war had visa ban. We are trying to remind President Biden that he should not forget that the visa ban was introduced by the Trump administration. He might have forgotten and he might not know, because when each president comes, they try and change policies, they change policies, the way they behave, okay? But we are talking that the Trump administration levied visa ban on all this administration. But we understand that President Biden came and did not understand, you know. We are very grateful for President Biden for the TPS that he granted to all Southern Cameroonians. We are very grateful for that. But this visa ban thing, they should implement that visa ban, because our people cannot stay in that form of subjugation, that form of type of exploitation, manipulation, mistreatment, all form of cruel treatment that we are going through. So we want the Biden administration to know that the dictator that he invited, President Biya, is one of the longest serving dictators in Africa. And his time, if you look from the video, his time is coming to the end. He's already, that's the end of time. He declared the war. Probably he declared without even knowing the outcome. He's now already frail. He's so haggard. Look at how he's walking. Okay. So we are saying that we want a smooth transition with the regime. We don't care who is the next president in La Republic. That has nothing to do with us, because they don't even consider us as their people there. So we are talking about any president that is coming, whether Biya want to do what, or that's the problem, because Biya doesn't even have any sense of direction now. He's only given a sheet of paper to go and read. He's only given a piece of paper to go and read. We will not negotiate with somebody who cannot even read, who cannot even talk. Well, what can Biya say? So we want a party that we can have a very smooth transition, and they can respect the terms of the negotiation, the terms, because remember, after the Funban conference, there was a need for follow-up to the Funban conference, okay? But Aijo never did that. They only said, oh, this is the constitution. They brought but the French constitution, the French Cameroon constitution, and imposed on the people of Southern Cameroon. That is what we have today. They never use both countries' constitution to form the federal constitution. Never. So we are saying that the mistake that our people did, we don't want that to happen now. We are doing this because we want a smooth, peaceful separation. It should be as peaceful as we can think of. Because when we separated with Nigeria, it was very smooth and peaceful. That is what we are talking about. We want to separate the same way. We don't want anything. We join them peacefully. We want to live peacefully. And if any international mediator is coming, they should know that is the stance of the people of Southern Cameroon. That is the stand of the people of Southern Cameroon. We want a peaceful separation. That's what we want. The Biden administration invited these members of the leaders of the African Union, but we heard of that it's about trying to revitalize the cooperation and partnership between Africa and USA, right? But you know, there is a lot of fight going on in Africa. Let's take a listen to this report.
Well, good morning, everyone. Bonjour tout le monde. Bienvenue. Welcome. Secretary Austin and I are delighted to have three close partners of the United States with us this morning. President Bazoum of the Republic of Niger, President Hassan Sheikh from the Federal Republic of Somalia, and of course, President Gale from the Republic of Djibouti. To all three of you, thank you. Thank you for being here this morning and joining us. We greatly value the strong relationship with these key partners, as well as their continued engagement and leadership in support of African and regional security. Their leadership, ça ne marche pas? Wow. Let's see. Toujours rien? I see. Excusez-moi. Just simply to say how much we appreciate leadership across the board, including the work to resolve conflicts. Toujours pas?
Je vais améliorer mon anglais.
Voilà. On peut le faire en français également.
Non, si Austin peut-être ne comprend pas français, sinon.
Well, simply put, we simply want to use this morning to continue building on the close partnership that we have to discuss, in particular, security cooperation and other shared priorities, including climate, health, education, food security. Et tout simplement pour vous dire que nous apprécions énormément non seulement votre participation, mais surtout le partenariat que nous avons entre nos pays et le leadership que vous exercez à travers le continent. Bienvenue.
Welcome.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. It's really great to see you. As Secretary Blinken said, we're happy to meet today to discuss our long-standing and effective security partnerships. Our work together strengthens peace, security, and governance across Africa and beyond. President Gile, we are especially grateful to Djibouti for hosting Camp Lemonnier. That's crucial for countering violent extremism and for supporting maritime security throughout the region. President Bazoum, Niger has proven itself to be a willing and able partner in the fight against violent extremist organizations, and the United States is proud to support you and your Sahel joint force partners. And President Sheikh Mohammed, the U.S. Department of Defense is fortunate to partner with Somalia's courageous armed forces, and will continue to support your government's efforts as you further develop your security forces. So we're grateful for all of your country's robust cooperation with the United States.
Joe Biden says he plans to visit sub-Saharan Africa in what will be the first trip by a U.S. president since 2015. In front of the nearly 50 African leaders who have gathered in Washington for a three-day summit, Biden also announced the U.S. support for the African Union to join the G20 group, a move praised by the current chairman of the AU, Macky Sall. I would like to welcome, on behalf of all colleagues, President Biden's important decision to support Africa's participation as a permanent member of the G20, but also his support for the integration of the continent as a permanent member to the UN Security Council. Joe Biden threw his support Thursday behind the larger African role in the world, but also vowed the U.S. would not shy away from promoting democracy. $55 billion in projects over the coming 3 years have been laid out for Africa at the summit.
Yeah, so from those report we can see number one thing that we can gather from there is the strengthening of the U.S.-Africa partnership. And we can say Biden is trying to do what Obama left, because President Trump never went to Africa, and only Obama went to Africa in 2015. So Biden has promised to go pay some visit there. But what we see in this visit is that there was very lesser scrutiny of human rights and political abuse of power. The Biden administration was more focused on partnership because they realized that that is the way Russia and China are dealing with Africa. Okay, so they too wanted to do the same, that type of partnership where they focus on strategic partnership. Because if they were thinking of not inviting dictators, the dictators that we know, like Biya, couldn't have been in that America. Biya couldn't have been invited. Mussolini, dictators like Obiangema, all these dictators couldn't have been there. But because of the strategic partnership that the U.S. is trying to create with African countries, they invited everyone. Everyone. The only people that were not invited were those people that have sanctions from African Union. These countries that had recent coup d'etat, like Mali, Burkina Faso, and those few that have some coup d'etat. But what we are saying here is that what can we gain from this partnership with the African countries? The sanctions that we have been expecting from the Trump administration, that we expected that the Trump they give the visa ban. We are also expecting that the Biden administration will continue on that. But you know, the change of presidency and the policy changes sometimes. But what we want to see is sanctions on the BR regime for if they cannot go into the negotiation table. So time is on their side. The American government know that they abandoned the Swiss-led negotiation. And they were trying to show or prove to the American and international community that they can, they are still in the process of negotiation by going to Canada and doing what we see. But when we see Canada, we don't see the same role Canada is playing in our negotiation as the role that Swiss government was playing. Canada is playing the host, but it's not playing a real mediator role. That is what we want to see. If Canada has accepted to host the discussions, we want to know if they are playing the role of the mediator or they are just sponsoring our leaders to go for field trips. Okay? We don't want field trips. We want real negotiation. Our people are dying back home. We are in a war. We are not. Our people are dying in the refugee camps. Our people are dying in the prisons, the dungeons of La Republique. So we are not going to be going around the world and be drinking champagne. We want to resolve this thing as soon as possible. We don't want our people to be dying. Yesterday we saw scorched earth policy still going on. So anything that is being delayed, every day one of our people are being killed. Now, I want to talk about the issue of ceasefire. When do you have a ceasefire? And what is the purpose of a ceasefire? We heard Comrade and President Chris Arnold was saying about the ceasefire deal that some guys went to Canada and signed. If you sign a ceasefire when you don't have any forces back home, you don't have any control over the boys back home, how do you want to enforce the ceasefire? Okay, we are talking of those that should be involved in any form of negotiation are those that have influence, those that have control in ground zero, like the interim government. And I think some other groups, they have some forces back home, but we want something that can be enforced. And if the Republic think that they can use any type of leadership to go there and do what they want, good and fine. But if they recognize who the leaders are, they will do something better. But we are saying that we want something that is really a real form of negotiation process. Okay? Because there are steps of negotiation. You have to go those steps. Okay? You can't just leave from step 1 to step 5. It will not work. You have to go step by step. Okay? We want to see what the Swiss government was doing during that process and to see that in Canada. But we are not seeing that. So this is not about we rejecting negotiation. It's not about us rejecting ceasefire. It's about us not seeing the process, the smooth process. How can people go to represent Ambazonia? They claim, I don't want to say represent. Some people just go and sign, or then we don't know the outcome of the thing. We have not seen any document that is signed. Is it a Nyongo society? We cannot do that to our people. We cannot sell our people. The blood of our people is still in the land of Ambazonia. They did not die because of any backdoor negotiation. That is why we are very cautious. So we are not saying that we reject negotiation. Please, those are two different things. We want this process to be as internationally recognized as possible, so that La Republic cannot go behind and change things, because we have seen series of abrogation of treaties by La Republic in the past. Many treaties La Republic have not been following up with it. One was a Fumban. When everybody say Fumban conference, why do you think people always mention Fumban conference? It's because La Republic did not follow up with the agreement. Okay, after that Fumban conference, there was supposed to be a follow-up on those modalities of that federation. Aijo never followed up. That is why after that Fumban conference, our people started agitating. But what did Aijo did? Silence all of our people. Okay, took some of them, like what they are trying to do, give them positions. Took some of this, give them positions. Put them in 2 camps so that they should be at loggerhead. So that's what we're trying. But we already know all those things. That's why we're telling them this generation is different. They should know. All of us went to school. We will know what we're doing. So whether they do, before they do something, we already know what they're trying to do. We are very intelligent. We know what is negotiation. If a negotiation process is not smooth, we'll tell you that this process, it doesn't sound well. It doesn't. This is not a. Once the Swiss government started its negotiation process, we saw a kind of training. There was that kind of consultation between the two parties. There was that kind of from one step to another. The Swiss government was not in a rush. They invited all the frontline leaders. They talked to them. They said, okay, which of the frontline leaders are not yet that we need to talk to? They gave them all. So they contacted all the frontline leaders. It was not something of backdoor negotiation. The frontline leaders knew that they formed what they call the Team Act. That Team Act now had all the leaders in. It was an open forum. It wasn't a forum that they will hide. Or what they talk, they will hide it from people and what no. It was open. They will come and explain they will have town halls. They will tell us what they discuss. They will discuss all those things. That is what we're talking about. This is about the life of the people of Southern Cameroon. It's not about few, 2, 3, 4 individuals. No. We have to tell the people what we are discussing. We have to tell the people how the process is going, because it affects the lives of millions and millions of Ambazonians back home and abroad. So that's what we are talking about. We want a smooth transition, and that transition should go in consultation with our people, so that they should know from step 1 to step 2, step 3, step 4, they should be in cognizance with what we are going, what we are discussing and how the process is going, because it affects them. They are the one facing the barrels of the gun. They are the one facing those military back home. All the torture, the kinds of massacre going on. So we have to know that, okay, that is the stance of the interim government. You heard President Chris Arnold mention that it is not about going back and forth talking. No, we want a smooth form of negotiation process. So when they talk of ceasefire, a ceasefire is only when there is a step to negotiation or a step to humanitarian crisis, okay, or a step to a political settlement, okay. But before cessation, before a ceasefire and cessation of hostilities, there is a process. You cannot just come one day and just say, hey, ceasefire, ceasefire. No, it doesn't happen like that. You have to first have some procedure, some negotiation process going on. Then the people have to present this to the ARFs, the Restoration Freedom Fighters, to know that, okay, this is what we have been discussing, and this is what we think that there is we're trying to discuss or negotiate. So we want hostility to end, right? But this should be with that international recognized party, that if you said A, it should be A. You cannot say A today, come and tell us, no, you do not say that all. Because of what most of the leaders that go to Canada, we don't even know them. We don't even know who they represent. There's the group called the CDN. The CDN that is sponsored by La Republique. They are the ones going to Canada. How can you go to Canada and go and sign on people's behalf, but you are hiding the information from the people you claim to represent? That is what we're talking about. You have to tell the people what you discuss. And you cannot just go and represent people that you are not even one of the people on the ground. You know, you are not one of the LGAs, you are not one of the counties that we know, or the leadership. You don't have nothing you control. So how can you effect? Because when they say ceasefire, the UN should involve. It's not just ceasefire by going to sign a paper. It's not like that. The two warring factions must agree. If you go and sign where you don't even own nothing in the ground, you are not even anything. You are not the interim government. You are not one of the Restoration Forces leaders. You don't have anything to even cease fire with. Why do you go and sign a paper? So the frontline leaders should understand, those who have influence, those who control something, those are the people that can go and sign ceasefire. You cannot just go and sign ceasefire where you don't have any influence. You can go and sign that piece of paper. It will just be a piece of paper. It has no effect on ground zero. So we are saying that the Liberia government should know who the leaders are, the frontline leaders, who to talk to, how the process should go. It's a process. It's not a ceasefire can take 3 months, 4 months, or more, because it's about how to implement it. It's not about just writing a piece of paper. It's a procedure. We have to talk to the boys on the ground. We have to discuss with them. It's about the self-defense communication, how the interim government would discuss with these boys and tell them, okay, this is what is going on. This is our... Then we explain to the people of Ambazonia. That is why on Wednesday, the president said he was going to go live on ABS TV to discuss all this in full. So on Wednesday, the president will be live on ABS TV to discuss this ceasefire thing, because it's very, very tricky. We want our people to be aware of what is going on, so that tomorrow they don't put it on our head as people of Fumban, another Fumban. Yeah, so that is a message I'm trying to pass. So please know that that's what is going on, so that our people should not go. The experience that we had, if there's any form of cessation of hostility, the La Republic military should pack all the little bag that they have and go to La Republic. They will not stay within our territory, because that's still occupation. That is what we are talking. If they go and sign something, we don't know the content of the thing that they signed. Who are those people who signed? We know only that it was members of the CDN, but we don't know these people. So cessation, ceasefire, and cessation of hostility goes hand in hand. So when you cease fire, there should be two things involved: humanitarian ceasefire or the hostility, cessation of hostility. So which one did they sign? Is it to go and help call the WHO or FAO World Food Program or Food and Agriculture Organization to come and help give our people some food for humanitarian purposes, or call the Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, to come and give a medication, or who? World Health Organization, UNICEF, to come and give our children some books or didactic materials, or is it UNESCO? That is what we're talking. Anything that goes in line with ceasefire is to give path to humanitarian aid, or to give path to political cessation of hostility. So we have to get the details of this report, of those who went to Canada, do what they are trying to do. Then we can be well informed about what is going on. Okay, we are not ready for another Fumban. We are not ready for that. That's why we are begging our people that they should know we are not involved. The interim government is not involved. That's why President Chris Ano is saying that anything that is happening there, we are not aware. Okay, we should be very, very careful how we go about this kind of thing. So for those people who were not there, let me play it again so that you listen what the president said. Okay.
Fellow Ambazonians, today is Sunday, December the 18th, and I come to you with a critical message. We have just learned of a ceasefire agreement reached in Canada between some Ambazonian leaders and the government of La République du Cameroon. They have a ceasefire that will lead to cessation of fighting on the ground. I want you to know, Chris Ano, the leader of the interim government, today, Sunday, December the 18th, that your interim government is not party to any ceasefire. We reject any ceasefire. No ceasefire will work on the ground until La République du Cameroon is ready to sit on the table to discuss the root causes to this conflict. We want every Ambazonian restoration fighter to know what has taken place and what happened in Canada happened with a lot of money exchanging hands between the CDN acting on behalf of the Prime Minister office and the leaders who went to Canada. A lot of money changed hands. We are very sure of what we are telling you. I shall be coming back to you on Wednesday on ABS with details of this story. But I just want you to know, fellow Ambazonians, There is no ceasefire. There is no ceasefire. And ground zero, ghost towns intensify. Ghost towns intensify. This is going to be, there is going to be a new order on the ground. Monday, ghost towns intensify. La République du Cameroon will not carry out another Fumban in the 22nd century with us. This is the age of the social media, the age of the internet, the age of enlightenment, the age of education, the age of information technology. And a second Fumban, we will not allow it to happen. Please pass this message around to everybody that you can reach. Ghost towns intensify. Restoration fighters get ready for full war in the territory. I come back to you on Wednesday with a full statement, a presentation on this. Look out for ABS. God bless you all. God bless Ambazonia. Long live the Federal Republic. Chris Anu here.
Yeah, so I shall. So let's listen to the press secretary. Let's listen to the press secretary, Comrade Mike, who will be talking about this also. Take a listen.
Fellow Ambazonians, good evening. Today is Sunday, December the 18th, 2022. And the time right now is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Breaking news, breaking news, breaking news. Fellow Ambazonians, I want you to pay close attention to what I'm about to say here, because it may have huge implications on our struggle right now. For some time now, we have been told of some negotiations or dialogue or discussions, whatever you may choose to call it, going on in Canada. When this was announced, several of us raised eyebrows based on the fact that the identities of those who were taking part in these talks were not released. And also, the details of what was being discussed were not released either. Things are beginning to trickle out, and what we are getting is very concerning, to say the least. What we are getting is that those who attended the Canada discussions have agreed to a ceasefire. Listen to me again. That those who attended the Canada discussions have agreed to a ceasefire. And we still do not know the conditions of this ceasefire. You must understand that for some time now, La République has been trying to replace the ailing Paul Biya, as you saw for yourself this past weekend when he came to Washington, that the man is completely depleted, that he cannot more function. So there is great desperation to make sure that someone takes over from him. Not just someone, but Frank Biya. But the concern is that they don't want Frank Biya to take over the war in the southern Cameroons, especially considering that they may have their own internal problems to deal with when this transfer of power is announced. It therefore will be challenging for a new president who doesn't even have any experience of running anything to manage both the war in the southern Cameroons and Ambazonia, which has been challenging to La République du Cameroon itself, and then to deal with any other internal squabbles that may arise as a result of Paul Biya handing over power to his son, which is greatly contested in some quarters in La République du Cameroon. It is therefore for this reason that these Canada talks were hurriedly put together as soon as La République du Cameroon had withdrawn from the Swiss talks, which were well organized to look into the root cause of the conflict between us, the people of the Southern Cameroon, Sambazinia, and La République du Cameroon. It is therefore for this reason that La République du Cameroon is putting everything on the table. And I tell you, fellow Ambazonians, everything on the table, including murder, assassination plot, to make sure that whatever is going on in Canada holds. Listen to what I have to tell you here. There is a plan in Canada that has been revealed to us by our informants within the internal operations of La République du Cameroon, that there is a plot to do away with Comrade Chris Ano. I say it again, there is a plot to do away with Comrade Chris Ano because he is seen as a stumbling block to what they are trying to put together in Canada. And they are willing to spend as much as 100 million CFA to make sure that this happens. Fellow Ambazonians, there were two considerations on how to go about accomplishing the task of killing Comrade Chris Ano. The first option was to get someone to shoot him and kill him. But given the risks involved, and considering that he is a U.S. citizen, that they may not be able to cover their tracks if such a crime were committed, they therefore settled on a second option, to get someone to poison him, because they believe that by poisoning and killing Comrade Chris Ano, that the main obstacle to what they are planning in Canada would have been eliminated. So, fellow Ambazonians, this is what is unfolding in Canada. During the talks, Professor Anyangwe represented several leaders who were not physically present there. And I will name a few. Professor Anyangwe represented Professor Anyangwe represented the ADF. He also represented SOCADEF or APLM, however you want to call it. He also represented John Bakoro of the consortium. And also, of course, there was also Mark Chefs present and Ma Emma Osong. But I will say here that when the final details of this plot that I just released here were hammered out, Ma Emma Osong refused to sign that agreement. She refused to sign that agreement. Emma Osong was the only attendee of that conference who refused to sign that agreement. And as we speak, her own life too is now at stake. So if anything should happen to Ma Emma Osong, know exactly those who are responsible. Fellow Ambazonians, this is serious. So this is breaking news. I will not be able to give you all the details of what is unfolding here. But I'll call on you to tune in to ABS TV on Wednesday. Comrade Chris Ano himself will be anchoring. I will be able to shed more light on this unfolding story. Fellow Ambazonians, the days ahead are pregnant. This is a crucial moment in our struggle. We have to hold tight because we are about to be taken advantage of again at the point when victory is so near. Some of our comrades, if we are not careful, will sell us again, just like in 1972. So keep your eyes wide open, but understand that the life of Comrade Chris Ano is being threatened, and there's a lot of money out there to accomplish this objective by La République du Cameroon. They have realized that he is the stumbling block that will not be bought, but others have agreed to a ceasefire before going ahead with any other negotiations. And you understand that once there is a ceasefire, La République du Cameroon will install their new president. Everything will be okay. And then they will be able to handle whatever problems they have within La République. And by the time we are done with any negotiations and we are not satisfied, they would have consolidated and secured their country, and they can then come back again and deal with us. So we must not relent. Our restoration fighters, we are calling on you not to accept any ideas coming from anyone for you to lay down your arms. On the contrary, all of you should go out on the offensive. People are trying to take money on the blood of our people that have been spilled, and we must not let this happen. It must not happen. If you have put down your sticks for whatever reason, this is the time to pick it back up. Pick back up your sticks and go on the offensive. People, money is changing hands. Money is changing hands. And people are trying to sell our struggle. We must not let that happen. Tune in to ABS TV this Wednesday. Comrade Chris Ano will fill you in on the remaining details of this unfolding story. Emma Osong, pray for her. Her life is also in danger because she refused to sign this dubious plan that was put together. Stay tuned for more details that will be coming up as the days go by. Stay blessed, and Ambazonia must be free. This is on behalf of the interim government of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. Thanks for listening, and stay safe.
Thank you very much, Mr. Press Secretary, for that report. I want to lay emphasis on some very important points that the Press Secretary mentioned. He talked about before I mention that, let me talk about what the President said in his own remark. He talked about the ceasefire. There's no ceasefire, okay? There is no ceasefire. Whatever document some people go and sign in Canada, it has no backing. Secondly, the President said, ghost town intensify. So any city that was not observing ghost town or observed partially, please, now it's time for full ghost town. The President has mentioned that. Thirdly, the President mentioned of, we don't want another Fumban. We don't want another Fumban to repeat itself. So that's another message from the President. Another point that he made, he mentioned of a new order. Okay, there will be a new order, and he wants to make sure that all what they are trying to plan against him will not work, because first they had that issue of saying going to tell the police that he has weapon in his house, all those things, but at the end of the day, when they went there, they saw nothing. Now they are trying to do another plot, but to do away with his life. Okay, that will not work either, because we have informants all over the place that pass on information to us. So whatever they're trying to do, we know of Professor Anyangwe attending the conference, representing the ADF, the SOCADEF, representing the consortium and so on and so forth. But let's give kudos to people like Emma Osom. Those are the people that we have to give kudos to, who stood their ground and said, no, I can't sign this document. What is this document about? What kind of ceasefire are you trying to cease? What fire are you trying to do? Why do you want to do away with someone who is trying to stand for the people? President Chris Ano has been one of the targets even in the days back in the days of Ayok Tabe. He was that courageous cabinet member who went to Nigeria after the arrest of the Naira 10. No other cabinet member could go to Nigeria. He went to Nigeria, held a press conference, and came back. During the days of Sako, he was the only one that was feared by La Republique. It was the one that was the backbone of the Sako's leadership. Okay? And you know what transpired and all those things, and when there was those issues there, I don't want to go back into that, but La Republique want him either arrested, either La Republique want him dead. That is what they want. That is why we are saying that if we want to go into any form of ceasefire, don't trust La Republique. I won't trust them. If there's no mediated party, a mediator between the two parties, we don't want to go into anything that can be because La Republique, you know them. We have had decisions like the one, apart from the Funban on, the other one that we had, like the one we have from the African Charter about countries respecting their boundaries. La Republique have not respected that. The one they had in Bakassi, what did the result in Bakassi said? The Nigerian government and the Cameroon government should respect their boundaries at independence. Okay, that is why both Nigeria and Cameroon had to leave Bakassi, because they were fighting Bakassi. They say, but this is not your boundary. What's your boundary at independent? Nigeria showed their boundary at independent. Well, they asked Cameroon, what's your boundary at independent? And Cameroon showed their boundary. They say, but this territory is Southern Cameroon. So why are you fighting on a land that is not yours, it's not yours? That is when both of them retreated. That is the only solution that happened in the Bakassi Peninsula issue. They were fighting the land because of oil. We are dying today because of our resources that God gave us. There's no other reason why La Republique is fighting our land. Not the love, not that they like these people so nice. Well, man, we love you guys. They don't love us. They love the resources. That's why they're killing us. Why do you think they are killing Southern Cameroonians? Do you think they love you? That's the thinking of some of you. They don't love you. They want the resources that they're enjoying. The darling oil, the darling timber, the darling cocoa and coffee, the darling rubber. Darling, how do we lose you? That's the love they have for us. They don't have love for you. They have love for what you have as a people. So they don't want to lose that. Okay? We are going to reconstruct our country. We don't want people who cannot build their own country to come and tell us they will reconstruct their country. Since I was since my childhood, I've not seen a tar road. Because I grew up in Limbe, grew up in Kumba, grew up in Moyuka, Mamfi, and so on. I've not seen anything that is good from these people. Okay? I was young, when I was young in Limbe, back then in Victoria, I saw the construction of Sonara. I was living in marketing board quarters. Marketing board is a cocoa and coffee board that was established by the people of Southern Cameroon. It controls all the cocoa, all the cash crops there in. They had huge quarters only for the workers. Beautiful houses. Today, it's gone. You go to class quarter there, you don't see any building. All those beautiful structures of the CDC used to have beautiful houses for all the workers. Today, it's abandoned. CDC don't have any houses again for the workers. Okay? Pamo used to have good buildings, structures, everything. These are things that La Republic came and met. They never built it. These are companies owned by the people of Southern Cameroon. But today, it's been destroyed or privatized. Privatization is what we know. They give to foreign companies to control. If we had one railway station, for example, one railway station that leaves Limbe to Bamenda, Bamenda Kumbo, Limbe Boya, Kumba, Manfe, Bamenda Kumbo, Fundong, just go like that. Tell me, what will be difficult for us to progress in people living in this area to go and work there, people living in this area to go and work here, people living in this area to go and work here? A highway road from Limbe right to Bamenda, Kumbo, go one expressway. That is what we call development. Development is not building on two tiny roads, small roads with there's little tar, like you put cement in the floor. After 1 month, you start see potholes. You call that tar. I don't know if the tars here are different, but when I see the tars here, I don't see potholes because the tars are thick. They put this layer, they put another layer of tar, thick. That is what we call tar. When you stay for 10 years, the tar is still there. We don't see that. I don't see express road. When you have this two-way road, you call those roads. Those are no roads. We are looking forward for express that will leave Limbe to Bamenda direct. Express. There you see no accident. When you see accident, it's because the roads are too tiny roads. These are how the roads are. Camion will passing, bus passing, camion passing. The roads are too tiny, so there's a lot of accident. Tiko Douala Road, a highway road, but it's just two-way. What is wrong in adding lanes? What is wrong in adding lanes in express roads? So that avoid accident. 2 or 3 lanes going this way, 3 lanes going this way. We don't see that. Those are the things we have to construct. Bridges. Build bridges. All the airports are closed. Why? And then how much is a transport? Airport. Manfe, you can leave Manfe and go to Bamenda in 1 day. Just take plane in 2 hours. You are there. And people can pay their plane leaving Bali to Tiko Airport. You want to ship your goods. Goods will be cheap. Containers. Limbe deep sea port. You send your containers there. Everything is cheaper. People cannot send cars. You cannot send things because in Douala they'll kill you with prices. That's what we are talking about. So all these things affects our economy. Okay? We are blessed because we are in between CEMAC and ECOWAS. We are blessed. Nigeria is the biggest economy in the whole of Africa, our neighbor. So we don't have place to sell our goods. We don't lack place to sell our goods. We don't lack place to buy goods from. Those two things is what makes economy to boom. But because of these people who want us to buy only in fresh companies, they did not build our seaport and our airport. Tiko was an international airport. Bali was an international airport. Don't forget. Yes. So people don't understand. Saudi Cameroon had international airport. Tiko Airport was international airport. But it was abandoned intentionally. I don't need to land in Douala all the time. I don't need to land in Yaoundé. Why? I land in Tico, I land in Bali. We have airports, international airport that was running. We have to reconstruct all those things. Make Southern Cameroon back as a country. Stop begging. You begging, go and beg in Douala, go and beg in Yaoundé. You have everything in your own eyes. You see everything, but you go and beg in Yaoundé. For how long are you going to be begging? For how long? That's a question you have to ask yourself. Okay? We don't have to beg. We have everything in our land. Before this crisis, remember, food. Go to the Tico, the Mutenge market. You see food taken to Douala. Food. Go to Kumba. Food is going to Lum, Mbanga to Douala. They use the train to go and sell food in Douala and come back to Kumba. But tell them to connect a train linking the Southern Cameroon. They don't want to do anything that will link us. They don't want. The Kumba Ekondo Titi Road, abandoned. Kumba Bamenda Road, abandoned. Anything that can link us, they don't want it. So you understand the politics going on. It's a whole bunch of politics. That is what we are fighting for. Some people don't know this struggle very well. If you get the details, you man, then you would start joining this struggle if you know the political gymnastics going on in this struggle. A lot of things going on that you don't know. Amazonia is a very rich country, but La Republic Biya has intentionally destroyed the country. Intentionally. You listen to what he said, want to assimilate us. That they should wipe our name, wipe identity, wipe everything, anthem, flag, constitution, everything should be wiped out. Just forget about those people. They should start speaking French. Just forget about them. They will just integrate them into French system. And that is why even today, some of our people still behave like French people. I went to French schools there in Yaoundé, but I don't think those people, I can behave like them. Okay, because they have a very stingy and greedy behavior that I don't want us to copy that. We are a very peaceful country. We are a very nice country, welcoming, good character, culture, everything. We will not copy wrong things, because copying wrong things is just copying the same thing and expecting different results. We have to maintain our culture, our own system of governance, our Anglo-Saxon system, our system of education, our system, our legal system, common law system. All those things are what makes us different. And we like it how it is. Because I've lived in UK, I'm living in the United States. I can tell you that the system here is very nice. Because it's not a banana republic, it's not a banana court system, it's not a kangaroo court. It's a system that if you are judged, you see the outcome. If you do this, you see the outcome. So thank you very much and stay put. We're going to bring you more update about this issue of ceasefire. But remember, we are not ceasing no fire. Okay? We're not ceasing no fire. The ghost town, as the president said, is going back to top level. Yes. Ghost town, top level. We talk of the plot to assassinate President Chris Ano. But, you know, most of Ambazonians here are already American citizens. So, La Republic, I don't know, they have the dual nationality policy. Why do they call us Cameroonians? They don't accept dual nationality. Most of us are already Americans. Why do they want us to why do they want us to come and be Cameroonian? I don't know. Most of us are already Americans. So they should leave Americans alone, right? We are Americans and Ambazonians. Ambazonians, Americans. We are not Ambazonians, Cameroonians, or American, Cameroonian, Ambazonian. No. We are American Ambazonians. So they should leave us peacefully. Yes. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, and I pray for everyone for this very special day. I know it's already Monday there, but yeah, it's still Sunday. So thank you very much, and God bless you all. Yep.
Thank you.